Welcome to the channel, everybody. This is Each One Reach One. I pray and hope that I can teach one of you with this lesson, Lord willing. Thanks for joining me today. All praise, honor, and glory belongs to our Heavenly Father, Yahawah, in the name of the beloved Hamashiach Yahawashi, our King, Savior, and Redeemer. I'm here for a quick one, hopefully a quick one. I'm trying not to make this one too long, but this one is inspired by a video from one of the fellas, from one of the camps who will remain nameless. I'm not here to really bash on anyone and bring any negative attention to anyone in any way, but I'm here to speak to a mindset that exists among Israel. And it's the fact that, there are many that are walking around calling themselves disciples and servants of Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi, but they aren't really. And many are in the comment section and many are following these men because they have an outward appearance of being righteous, but inwardly, they are ravening wolves and they're leading you to your destruction. My goal is to maybe save one of you from the clutches of one of these wolves. All right. Because their own pack aren't going to turn on them, because they're one and the same, right? They're not gonna weed out the unrighteous among their group because unrighteousness is kind of par for the course. You know, it comes standard. It's part of the teaching. It's part of the culture, right? Like bad cops, right? The good cops are few and far between. The bad cops, they are bad cops because they're upheld by a system that supports them. People like to say, well, they just need better training. No, it is their training that you're seeing. You're watching their training. So expecting better training to be the solution, for a demonic problem, it's crazy. So again, I watched the brother go off, right? And like, get this, you know, he was responding to a comment that someone left him in his comment section because, he appeared to be frustrated, and so in brotherly love, like we often try to do, right? We come along and say, hey, person try to say, hey, brother, don't be frustrated. And he went off. He went all the way off on him. I mean, you would think the brother said there is no Christ, that he disrespected Yahawashi, the Holy Spirit, and the Father. You would think that that's what he did in order for this man to respond in the fashion in which he did. I mean, he recorded a whole hour and 20 something minute diss record towards this brother who simply said, brother, don't be frustrated. That was all he said, right? And he responded like in the same energy and fashion as some of these women, some of these sisters who are out here who don't like black men, they hate Israelite men. And a brother sees them out in public, with the mean mug on, with the sad face, with the mad face, and say, hey, sister, won't you smile? And then the sister snaps and goes off. Smile for what? Smile for you. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what my day is like. Who are you? You don't pay my bills. I don't owe you nothing. What I need to smile for? You entitled to my smile or something? Why you need me to smile? What do you mean smile? You know what my day was like? It just went smooth off. Like the brother was just trying to uplift you and give you some uplifting words, and you went off. No, you may be right. You probably had a bad day and you got nothing to smile about, but your response didn't fit, the situation. It wasn't an appropriate response. And so this brother's response to this was not an appropriate response for what he seen, what he deemed to be an offense. He deemed it to be a great offense. And so, it inspired this here. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I want to start with Matthew chapter 16. Matthew chapter 16. Let's go to verse 18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Now, we know hell to not be a place, but to be a condition, right? The condition of being on the bottom, the condition of being in captivity, condition of being in slavery and being in bondage, to being, the tail and not the head, to being in poverty, right? To being hated by everybody, including the women of your nation. Hell, a state of being, right? And so the gates we know are men. Men being gates, not literal gates. All right. But these men who are causing people to enter into hell. And without knowing it, there are many in this Israelite awakening calling themselves apostles and disciples, teachers and prophets, and they are literally the gates of hell that Yahawashi is talking about, that will not prevail against his church, against his body, right? So his body is at war spiritually, right? And Satan has co-opted Israelites into being his own agents and instruments of Israelite destruction, but more specifically, the church's destruction, the body of Hamashiach. And his promise is that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. These men who are the gates to hell, they will not prevail against it. All right? They haven't been given the keys to the kingdom of heaven. But they have placed themselves in these positions of power and authority, and they believe that they have the power to say who gets into the kingdom and who doesn't. They think they have the power to be able to say who's part of the elect and who isn't. They think, that the power is with them to say who's part of the remnant and who's a 2/3, who's going to get condemnation and who's going to get blessings, right? That's what they believe the whole time. They are the gates of hell. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. The narrow and wide gates. Enter ye in at the straight gate, says our King. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Now, and again, keeping in mind and visualizing men as gates, these gates as men, all right? You want to get in your mind that these gates he's talking about are men that you would pass through either to enter into the kingdom or to enter into quote unquote hell or the lake of fire. All right. Enter ye in at the straight gate, the difficult gate, the narrow gate to enter in through. All right. And truth be told, the camps, they're going to hate to hear this, but I don't really care about what they like to hear. They have made themselves wide gates. Because when you come into this Israelite awakening and you start, trying to search out videos and search out teachings, you come to the camps. Your chances of running into the camps are very high. And being one of these people who are either in the camps or part of the body of people following the camps, it's a big number. The number of people trying to enter into the kingdom and enter into the promises and enter into our heritage through the camps are many. There are many making the camps gateways, wide gateways at that. And these wide gateways, the broad ways, they lead to destruction. Many Israelites are walking through these gates, through these men, in order to try to get to the Father and his Son, in order to enter into the kingdom. Verse 14, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. The remnant are the few chosen among the many called Israelites, and few there be that will find it. Right? So the true gateways to the kingdom are going to be small. There aren't going to be many subscribers and many followers and many people trying to enter through that gateway, that man. All right? Few there be that find it. Few there be that find the way that leads unto life. All right? Now be careful which gate you're trying to walk through. All right. Verse 15, beware of false prophets. It leads you right into this. Why? It's because, again, the gateways that he was just referencing are false prophets. That's why he goes right into this. After that, they're false prophets leading you astray. All right. You think they're gateways into the kingdom, into the Most High, but they're not. They're leading you away from him. They're put in place for that reason, because most of Israel has to go the wrong way. It's all about the remnant, not the majority, not most of us making it, but the residue of us making it. So there are men put in place to lead the masses in the wrong direction. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing. So they're going to look like you, going to be your own people, right? Stop looking for Esau. Your main enemy are they of your own nation, your own people. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing. They're going to look like you. They're going to talk like you. They're going to sound like you. On the outside, they appear to be one of you, but inwardly, they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? You're going to know them by their fruits, because the Most High has put a spirit of they can't help it's out there, and people can't help but show you who they are. They can't pretend anymore. No one can pretend anymore. You are who you are, and the Most High has put the spirit out there to where people are going to reveal themselves to you. They're going to show you. They're not going to be able to hide. Just pay attention. You're going to know them by their fruits. Watch what they do. Watch what they say. Watch the people that follow them. Even so, every good tree, men as trees, bringeth forth good fruit. Men as trees, and these trees being teachers, they should produce good fruit. Their students, their followers should bear record of them being a good tree. If they themselves become good fruit, but you watch their followers, and they're just like the tree that they follow, that they eat from, that they come from. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Pay attention. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. It is impossible for a corrupt tree to bring forth good fruit. You want to know if the tree is corrupt? Look at its fruit. And if you can recognize a corrupt tree, you know that the fruit are bad. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. And there are going to be many so-called Israelite prophets who are going to be cast into the fire, all while believing they were servants of the Most High all the time, the whole time. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. He's given the spirit of can't help it, so they can't hide. He's made it easy for you to be able to judge the fruit of the tree. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, not everyone that says unto me, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Yahawashi, not everyone that says that shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? It's going to be many Israelites right now who are awakened, calling upon the name of Yahawah, Yahawashi, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Yahawashi, doing video after video, lesson after lesson, rebuke after rebuke, exhortation after exhortation, standing on the corners and the highways and the byways, proclaiming the name. And they're not going to get in. He's going to say, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. See, they're working iniquity and they have no conscience of it. They don't know. They can't recognize it. They think they're doing the work of the Most High. They think the Most High is in agreement with them, right? Because they haven't received the reward of the unrighteous yet, because they still have a job to do in leading many to iniquity. So the judgment against their iniquity has not been swift, and their hands are strengthened. They are evildoers whose hands are strengthened by the masses and the many that follow them and that are part of their groups that uphold them. All right? Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. You better make sure you're building your house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. A lot of these men that you're trusting in, that you're looking to, you're holding them up in high regard, they are sand. Do not build your house upon them. Verse 27, and the rain descended, and the floods came. Trouble will come. Tough times will come. Persecution will come. Judgment will come. That's what this is saying. And the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. They're going to fall, and you're going to fall with them if you follow them to their destruction. I saw another, brother was talking about, he was responding to somebody else, and he was talking about how Yahawashi did not teach against the dietary law. And you know what? He's right. Yahawashi did not teach against the dietary law. But you know what else he didn't do? He didn't teach in favor of it either. He didn't say that you must keep it. Go into the New Testament, find me a red letter anywhere where Yahawashi says to us that we must follow the dietary law in order to be saved. And if you don't follow the dietary law, you're not going to be able to get salvation. You're going to die. You're going to be killed. You're not going to be able to find that either. All right. So while one thing is true, it doesn't make the other thing true. It doesn't work that way. Two things can be true at the same time. All right. And you get these people, man, who are these false prophets. They badly want to put a yoke upon the brethren that are awakening. They want it to be difficult for you. They want you to have difficulties when you awaken. Why would they want you to have difficulties? It's like they want you to die. See, that's the spirit of the Pharisees. The Pharisees didn't like the simplicity and the liberty that came with Hamashiach. The Pharisees and the scribes and Sadducees and the elders, who didn't believe in Yahawashi, they didn't like that the believers in Yahawashi didn't subscribe to all of these rules and all of these laws and all of these mandates and different things that they were trying to impose upon them. They didn't like it. And so they persecuted them. And these men right now who are calling and praising Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawashi, they are doing the exact same thing right now. They're doing what Saul did. They ain't doing Paul's work. They're doing Saul's work with no conscience of it. But we know them by their fruit. We have the scales removed from our eyes. We can see clearly. We can see them for who they are. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Red letter, Yahawashi speaking. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. All ye that labor, what is he saying? All ye that labor under the law of Moses, the law of works. Labor, works. Those are you who are wrestling with the law of works to try to gain righteousness. Come unto me, come away from the law of Moses. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. Heavy laden with what? The law of Moses. And I will give you rest. From what? The law of Moses. Take my yoke upon you, as opposed to what? The law of Moses. Opposed to the disciples of Moses, the Pharisees, the scribes, the Sadducees, the unbelieving elders. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Stop trying to study the law of Moses. Stop trying to study the old covenant. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. That's what he desired for his people, especially awakening. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light, as opposed to what? The yoke of the Pharisees, the scribes, the Sadducees, the law of Moses. Right? You're supposed to awaken to the righteousness of Christ and take on his yoke, which is easy, his burden, which is light. We are not being killed anymore because of the dietary law. The dietary law has no bearing on salvation. People are not dying anymore for not keeping the dietary laws. That's not happening. Doesn't matter how much they like it, what they say. Let them call you bug outs and everything else. Be proud for them to persecute you for Christ's sake. Be thankful and grateful when they hate you for righteousness' sake, for you listening to Yahawashi. Because you put them in a trick bag. Am I supposed to listen to you, or am I supposed to listen to the king? The king says his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Am I supposed to listen to him or listen to you? Should I follow what you tell me to follow, or should I follow his commandments? Now they got a problem. How they answer that can be detrimental to their lives. They can die tomorrow. They answer that the wrong way. Matthew chapter 23. Pharisaism exposed. And that's what's happening today in this time. And I'm doing a bit of it right now. Exposing the Pharisees. He gave us this for a reason. We're supposed to read this and understand our enemies, understand what we're up against, and be able to see them. He's arming us with what we need to fight the spiritual battle. It wasn't just a spiritual battle for that time back then. We're facing it and fighting it now. But many don't know their enemies when they see them and hear them. Then spake Yahawashi to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. They want to be Moses. They're trying to push all of these laws on you that came from Moses. They're sitting in his seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. Now, what is he saying here? And why is he saying this? Because he's not trying to get anybody killed or in trouble. He knows these people want to kill them. He's ready to die, but he's not trying to get everybody else killed for not listening to these people. He knows bloody Israelite, the bloody city. They can't wait to kill you. Israel hates Israel more than anybody does. They can't wait to kill you for not doing what they say or not doing what they believe you should be doing. But remember, this was for the time when he was alive. Remember, he's alive. The new covenant doesn't go into effect until he dies. So because he's still alive at the time when he's speaking, the new covenant is not yet, right? That testament is not a force yet. So you still had to follow these things. This is what he's advising them to do. Follow what they're telling you to do, right? Like he said, render custom to whom custom is due. Understand time and season and where you are and so forth. He says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. They do, they say, and they don't do. They don't follow what they're telling you to do. They are hypocrites in speech and action. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. Careful with these dudes who are trying to give you this outward appearance of righteousness, wearing garments and putting the fringes on and their border of blue, right? Trying to appear to be righteous. See, they're trying to cloak themselves, disguise themselves, put on sheep's clothing to fool the sheep and to go into sleep and not recognizing the speech of the wicked, the heart, the spirit of the wicked. Maybe if I put on these fringes and put on, these garments and say, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi, they're not going to notice I'm a freaking demon. They're not going to notice that I'm one of the devil's henchmen, Satan's henchmen, that I'm masquerading as an angel of light. They won't notice if I put on the sheep's clothing. See, they love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Hamashiach, and all ye are brethren. And call no man your father upon earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Hamashiach. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, to make one convert. That's what they're doing. They're going hard in the paint to try to convert people, to try to get you to come over and embrace God, embrace the Most High, right? Embrace Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawashi, right? And at least that's what it appears they're doing, right? They're going hard, quote unquote, for the Most High, for the gospel. Appearing. That's what it appears to be, right? Right. He says, and when he is made, when the proselyte is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. And that's what they're out here doing. These men are calling themselves prophets and apostles and disciples of Yahawashi, but they are children of hell, trying to get as many other Israelites to join them in that fire, trying to drag as many with them into hell as they possibly can, because misery loves company. Their spirit tells on them. Their spirit reveals the true them. They can't hide it. And if you know them by their fruits and you have a discerning spirit, you should be able to see them. And if you can see them, you can run from them. All right? So that's what you need to be doing. Running from these people. When you notice the wicked spirit on them, run. Run. Don't let them bully you with insults and shame and language. Be men. All right? Be men. Stand on your feet. Your own two. Be willing to stand alone. Be willing to face the pack of hyenas like a lion. That's all they are. They're trying to masquerade as lions, but they're just hyenas, relying on numbers to bully you. They ain't nobody. They have no special power or position in the kingdom. Don't fall for the okie doke. They go try to tell you, oh, you're not a man. You're not a man because you don't like the disrespect. Oh, you're not a man. You're a sheep and blah, blah, blah. You're effeminate, blah, blah, blah. If you don't like the way I talk, you're effeminate. You see, you just effeminate. That's all. That's the reason why you don't like the way I talk. Because you ain't grew up with no father. I grew up with my father. My father raised me. Say something. My father was a man's man. Say something. I'm a man's man. Say something. Say something. You got the right one today, buddy. I'm not him. And this ain't that. You feel me? This ain't that. You can do all the rah-rah you want to. But you wouldn't move a feather with your breath if you was in public, though. You don't worry me. You don't bother me. You don't scare me. I don't scare, fam. I definitely ain't scared of tough talk from internet tough guys. So I'm going to talk that talk. What you going to do? Call me a name? I'll be good. I'll be all right. And I don't expect to see you in the kingdom. But you know what? I pray I do. I pray you repent and change. I pray that you get it together, brothers. If you're guilty of doing this, I pray you get it together, because you know what? I ain't you. I am a disciple of my King Yahawashi. I do have his spirit. I have the spirit of wishing my people change and get it together. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to be left out in the cold. I don't want you to be out there in the darkness with the need with those who are going to be weeping and suffer from the gnashing of teeth. I don't want that to be you. I pray you get it together. I pray that you are convicted and you adjust, that you change course. You probably won't, but I do pray that for you because I ain't you. I'm not a hypocrite. All right. I walk it like I talk it. And that's according to the commandments of my King. All right. What are you doing? Who are you following? Whose voice do you hear? Yahawashi said, his sheep hear his voice, and another they will not follow. So if you're following these Pharisees, these false prophets, you're not listening to the voice of Yahawashi, which means you can't hear his voice, which means you are none of his. Good luck to you. All praise, honor, and glory to the highest. Grace, peace, and blessings to the saints of the Most High God. I'll see you guys on the next one, Lord willing. I pray that you were edified and you benefit from this some way, somehow. Be a blessing to others whenever possible. Each one, reach one. Shalom.